I'm going to start off with a story that's pretty new. I think this just kicked off a couple hours before the show started. It seems Donald Trump has posted something on his social media, and it's gone to all of the various social medias. And some people, it's amazing. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Wow. So unique for a Donald Trump post. But he's posting about Korea, both of them, the North and the South of the Koreas. And here's what he says. Based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, I am not happy with the fact that the United States has long ago agreed to participate in joint military exercises with South Korea. And, of course, we've done these forever. So another one's coming up, and Trump's got a little problem with it. I continue with Donald Trump's post. These exercises are not only costly, which much of the cost paid for by the United States of America, as usual, he puts that in there, but send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that, as long as Donald J. Trump has been president, has been unthreatening and respectful. Therefore, and based on the fact that it is too late to cancel, I have instructed Secretary of War Peter Hegseth to substantially reduce the joint military exercises. While somewhat unrelated, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of the Islamic Republic of Iran. They said no thanks. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. All right. A couple of things going on here. A couple of obvious things going on here. Trump's pissed. Trump's pissed that South Korea did not want to join in with anything, funding, material goods, whatever it was, to support Donald Trump's war on Iran, trying to denuclearize Iran. So he's looking at a way to stick it to him. They're sticking it, Jerry. Looking for a way to stick it to him, and this seems to be it. The thing is, it gets people a little shaky when Donald Trump is extolling his accolades to Kim Jong-un, the North Korean tyrant, the little baby Huey chubby bunny guy that runs that crazy, horrible, tyrannical nation of a population that is petrified, does not have some of the most basic of needs, and can't speak their mind. Right now, liberals are going, isn't that Trump's America you just described? Yeah, exactly, sure. But we look at it, and it's Trump kind of turning the screws on South Korea. And talking up Kim Jong-un is a little wacky. He did go over there. We remember during his first term, he went over there and they had chit-chats and they looked adorable walking through the no man's land, the 38th parallel. But it's kind of a weird look. I understand because, like I said, he just wants to get back at South Korea for not supporting his Iranian denuclearization, as he says. But there is something here a little more than just Trump trying to get at somebody and pay back kind of a thing. This has been 76 years. 76 years. America has had to stand there and face North Korea as the protector of South Korea. I can understand this for a while, maybe a decade or two. 76 years, though. It's really time to start cutting off this support that America gave nations during the peak of the Cold War. The big fear that communism was going to, the domino theory, one falls, they all fall. We're going to lose all of Indochina. And you could understand them feeling that way back then. But we live in a totally different world. There are more goddamn commies here in America than there are overseas that are threatening us. The threat of communism is right here with the Democrats, more so than North Korea getting into South Korea at any time. But let me take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about this, because as I see it, it's time to let the little brother defend himself here and other places. Back in a moment.
This is the Anthony Cumia Show.
Right now, our world feels divided. But out here, we have so much in common. We fish the same waters, roam the same fields, raise families under the same open sky. Out here, there's no left or right. We all share a love of wildlife and wild places. But now, the animals we love and the lands we treasure are threatened, gone, unless we defend them. This isn't about right or wrong. It's about standing together. Because up to 1 million species face extinction unless we unite and act to save them. We are their last line of defense. We are defenders of wildlife. Join us as we band together to protect our wildlife and wild places. Because in our love for what we share, we are closer than you think. Be a wildlife defender. Learn more at defenders.org.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show.
Hey, it is the Anthony Cumia Show, and we're starting off this evening talking about Trump telling South Korea, we don't want to really play with you. We got these military exercises coming up, and Trump said, you know what, well, we can't cancel totally, but we're really going to scale this thing back. It's not going to be one of those things that shows North Korea, like, don't F with us. Look at what we can do. I predict, I don't know, a couple of jet skis and a couple of soldiers with AR-15s on them. Something like that. But nothing that we've seen in the past. And the people are angry. Some people are very angry, but these are the usual suspects. They don't like anything Donald Trump does. One of them, Captain Mark Kelly. You know, the astronaut guy. And he doesn't like anything Donald Trump does. That's for sure. So, of course, Trump put out this statement, and Captain Kelly says North and South Korea are still technically at war, which is insane to me. He didn't write that part. I'm just commenting. The fact that these two countries are still in a state of war, technically, is mental. But he says North and South Korea are technically at war. Our ability to defend our ally against North Korea is because of our forces are well trained and able to coordinate with the South Koreans. Hollowing out these joint exercises is short-sighted and a mistake. Really, Captain Kelly. It's every year for 76 years this has gone on. And what is it doing? Is it helping South Korea to become more independent as far as their protection goes? I don't think so. They've had the big bully United States behind them forever. Do you understand how long ago that is? 76 years. Look at footage from the Korean War. It's in black and white, for God's sake. The TV show, MASH. If we were supporting South Korea militarily since the show MASH ended, it would still be too long. That's still too many years. And 76 years. So I'm of the school of thought that we've given them quite enough. And here's another thing that people might not like hearing, but let's say South Korea fell to the north. Somehow they invade. Somehow they win. And I'm hearing this online because I put a couple of these comments up on social media. And they're like, well, Russia and China are the ones you got to worry about. They're the ones that'll join up with North Korea and take over South Korea. It's like, shut up. Shut up. What is this? The 50s? The 60s? First of all, China is so dedicated to capitalism right now. They're barely communists. They like, telling their people they can't do what they want to do and restricting people. They love that part of communism. But as far as making money in the world market, they're the biggest capitalists you'll ever see. And war is a dirty, expensive business, especially when you're waging it against a Western ally. They would never do that. They've wanted to go into Taiwan for how long? They won't even do that. And technically, it could be theirs. They're going to just storm into South Korea and take over. Ain't going to happen. And Russia, stop. They stopped caring a long time ago. And I think their dance card is a little full right now with Ukraine. Ukraine just sent a hell of a lot of drones and just blew up a bunch of stuff and a bunch of people. That's all we really know about what's going on over there. You just cover the whole war by saying, yeah, drones went and blew up a bunch of stuff. I don't even know whose side drones, but I digress. So even if that happened, yes, there are plenty of companies, business-wise, we do with South Korea. It would be devastating economically in some ways. But the only reason we protect South Korea or protected them in the first place was this fear of the communist takeover of Indochina and the Far East. We were petrified of that. That's why we were in Vietnam. And I'd like to bring up that point. Look at Vietnam. Almost 60,000 American soldiers dead. And they wound up taking it anyway. The North took South Vietnam and it was over. Now they're Vietnam. And you could take a flight over there. And you could buy things. And they do business. Import-export business with everyone on the face of the earth. You could go there and take a tour of battlefields from the Vietnam War. A tour of some of the tunnels that the tunnel rats would have to go in. That's Vietnam now. And you know why? Because we didn't decide that we were going to stick around for 76 years and make sure North Vietnam didn't get into South Vietnam and take over. And early on, they could have done that. But it just got to be too much. We're leaving. We bugged out. And in no time, the North streamed over into South Vietnam. And it was over, Johnny. It's over, Johnny. And instead of doing that in Korea, we stayed there and protected them from being taken by the North. What does it matter right now? What does it matter? Oh, South Korea got overrun. All right. Let's get their people, their tech people, scientists, things like that. We'll bring them over here and we'll just set up shop of whatever they were doing over there. We'll do it over here now. Like the end of World War II with the German scientists. the fact that 76 years later we are still over there spending unbelievable amounts of tax money protecting them from what? From what? Kim Jong-un? Holy jeepers. Let's talk to Tom. Tom in Pennsylvania. What's up, Tom?
Ant-Man.
Oi.
How you doing?
Pert good.
All right there. So, so the Korean War, my uncle was in battle at Chosin. Are you familiar?
Yes, I watch a lot of those documentaries. Pretty brutal.
Yeah, he never spoke about it. And, very, very quiet man. He's dead now, but, and my other uncle died in Vietnam. So hence my mom said she would never speak to me if I was 18 when 9/11 happened and I wanted to join up. But anyway, one of my good friends, she actually went to North Korea. You can go to North Korea.
Yeah, I've seen some
she went
films
there,
and
she just said, they told her just don't take pictures of anything.
Right.
And that was that. I mean, she's crazy. I told her don't do that, but she's like, I'm going to do it anyway. And
it's not going to happen. Fine. There's not going to be a North Korean invasion of South Korea. It just isn't going to happen. It's not that time. It's not that mood of this country or of the world. Never mind this country. That they would do something like that. Even communist nations would look at that and go, what are you doing? Don't even. No, we're not going to go along with this nonsense. You're screwing up our business.
Oh, I lost you.
Oh, okay. All good.
Oh, no, I got you. I can hear you now. I mean, it makes no sense because what are they going to do? Use their communist logic to try to run capitalism from North Korea? Then they're just going to ruin Samsung, and then it's just going to, then just short Samsung then.
Yeah.
I mean...
And the South Koreans might actually have some gumption and have to defend their own homeland without knowing that the big bad United States...
Thought. What a thought. Meaning, defend your own homeland like we did?
Oh,
I mean,
look at me.
on, please.
I went over time, didn't I?
All right,
I got to take a quick break.
Care.
Back in a moment. Donald Trump a little peeved at the South Koreans for not jumping right into this Iranian conflict. And since we've been the South Korean ally, number one, with a bullet, with a bomb, with everything. We have been their defender for 76 years since the Korean War. And what do we get in return? What honestly do we get in return from Korea? Are we getting deals on graphics cards that they're making over there? Electronics? I don't think so. I don't think we're getting good deals on that. We have to look at it like, what advantage do we have? Now, many years ago, there was an advantage. We were fighting the commies, those damn commies, and we were fighting them. And we did not want them taking another inch of real estate from a free nation. And for some reason, we felt we had to stand guard for 76 years for that, when everything else, the whole world changed. There's no reason for us to protect South Korea anymore. And like the caller just before the break was saying, my uncle was in the Korean War. He fought. It was this. And it's like, yeah. And he goes, and he's dead now. Yeah, they're all dead now for the most part. Most Korean War veterans aren't around anymore. So you don't have to worry. It's not like Vietnam was even worse. Those poor bastards had to come home and watch Saigon fall because they left like 10 minutes before. So it's not like you have to degrade the work and sacrifice that the soldiers put in for Korea. We understand that. And it was very appreciated. And again, it was necessary back then, trying to fight off those commies on every corner of the earth. But now, you honestly think South Korea is in any danger of being taken over by anybody? North Korea, China, whatever it may be, Cuba. The commies are done, except for here. There's the biggest resurgence of communism is in the United States of America. And it's not militant rabble-rousers with guns. It's politicians that moronic liberals are actually voting into office. That's your fear of communism. That's your domino theory. That if one city gets taken by a commie, then all the cities will fall. Well, there's something to be said about that. Because Mamdani becomes a rock star in New York, and all these other commies pop out of the woodwork and want to take seats of power in cities and states and federal seats of power. So that's what you got to worry about. I wouldn't worry that much about South Korea. I'd worry about us and the commies in our own country. Could you click that continue thing on my phone bank, please? Mission control up there. Mission control. Houston. We have a continue button that needs to be pushed. No? Is anyone listening to? There we go. Because I want to go to Tony. Tony in Jersey. Tony, what's up?
Hi, Anthony. It's good to catch up with you. Listen, South Korea has given us one goodie for our communist regime that's running, and that's Francesca Mao Tse-tung, who just lost a bit. She was her parents came from South Korea in the 80s, and here she is now trying to wreak havoc in America. So I don't know what she's learning there.
What a great example. That's right. Hong, she's South Korean, and then they come here, and they want to treat it like North Korea here in America.
Disgraziata, as they say in Italian. But the second part of it is that South Korea's defense budget for 2025 was $52 billion, which represents about 8.75% of its total government expenditures. So they're focusing on modernizing their military and enhancing their defense against threats against primarily, particularly North Korea. That's what it says online. But you know what? What about the rest of the world? What about Iran? What about America? Hello?
Yep.
Anybody home?
Yeah, well, you hear about stories, and I'll get into this in a minute, the stories coming out of the USS Abraham Lincoln, the carrier, the conditions that the sailors have to be under. And it's like, why doesn't our military have the best of everything before we spend a dime on protecting some other country or doing their bidding or whatever you want to call it? I love the idea of being isolationist at this point.
I have one more thing, Anthony, if I could tell you.
Sure.
Their industries are Samsung, Hyundai. You know, after the Korean conflict, the Forgotten War, they started to really build up. I read a great book about them, and they really, emerged as like this industry, Samsung and all this other stuff. Now they're getting into things like, AI and other things, and trying to figure out how they could weasel into all these other things like semiconductors and telecommunications. So what about putting some of your efforts into protecting the world? You see, no one wants to protect the world. That's America's job, right?
No, that's America's job. That's our job. The taxpayer's job is to foot the bill for it. And we sit there for 76 years like we're protecting an old oak tree while the rest of the world doesn't even think about the situation as it was back 76 years ago with communists and North Korea and China. And that world is over. It's gone. There's no need for us to do that anymore. It's like NATO. There's no need for us to have military in Germany to protect against the Soviet Union. I mean, Russia isn't going to go pouring into Germany or into Europe if there isn't a NATO led by the United States of America. These are things that were necessary a long time ago. They haven't been in quite some time, and we as taxpayers are still paying the bill. Tony, thanks for the call.